Ground Morrow. I can see our landing site.
Wow. Look at that Tsiolkovsky crater. I can't believe how bright the ejecta blanket is.
It's like snow. It's beautiful. It's Mare Imbrium to the north.
Hold on. A lot of work until we get there. But anyways, I bring to you today this. Alright, why am I bringing to you this? I've never showed you this before. It is getting increasingly harder to find good gravy on the way to the moon, and I have found it. Alright, last Thursday there was the biggest dark pool print on this, and we all know who was in the Oval Office during the bottom in April, right? Now, the time of this was right here, this candle. Okay, what was the level? I don't know which indicator is showing this, but this is the exact level that this print came in at. 32. All right. It's all the way. I'm gonna mark it a little bit underneath. I think I'm gonna go here, because that is the bottom of the IB session. Okay? There's also a rando gap here between the 5-minute candles. So, and if you look at this whole thing here, there's all kinds of good, super legit shit going on here. So, 3202 is the exact price, ballpark here. And we have not traded above it since. Now, what makes this interesting is that it is up here. Now, this lends itself, of course, to the interesting sports calendar theory that we have, right? The interesting sports calendar theory of this guy that we are, and again, if you're new, this is a 30-year-old seasonal chart that we're writing this thing, and this is going to be all of October. How legit it is remains to be seen. It has proved itself in the past. Here is the one where all yellow marks are Fridays, right? Give or take. These are not exact, these are just algo projections. So we find ourselves in a situation where we don't know, but we're about to find out if October's, if we're right here, if we're about to start a recovery. And just to run, it's the middle of October and I am still leaning more towards this, okay? Because even though we rallied on Friday, and this is of course ballpark, this has kind of been the theme. This was that last, the first Friday, second Friday, third Friday, and then off to the races. Here's IWM, which is showcasing pretty much exactly what we're also doing. and the S&P 500 seasonality chart. All of them clearly showcasing that the Nasdaq and tech is the sector you want to be in going in to the end of the year. I'm sure you've noticed all the crazy Nvidia articles this weekend. So let's look here at the good old Schwab, right? What do you got going on here? You have a possible 921 downtrend that gets saved, and then you have a ripping rally that no one understands. We've seen this before. It's technically the exact same setup, right? You also have that right there that is looking for a bounce. This guy is cruising here in the middle. Usually for a bottom you need a Namo bottom. Here is the August low. You had the same type of setup in April. This has just been ranging. It's been ranging now for months, October, September and August. Okay, ever since we had that August low, right? And so far, what is different about this month? You spot it yet? Remember, we got to go back here a little bit, clearly, because you don't remember exactly, right? We had a situation start in June where the first, right, was the low, the first trading day. That was the low of June. That was the low of July. That was the low of August. That was the low right there for September. October is different. If you're new and you're watching this chart, it is the fucking Mona Lisa of trading right now as far as I'm concerned. Don't worry about all the lines and all of this. It is more about setting yourself up for success with this crazy week coming up and weeks. This is by far the hardest time to trade throughout the year, these few weeks here, right? And we're gonna zoom out to start. All right, so make some notes and all that good stuff. The monthly, okay, where are we? There's September. October's right there. All right, let's zoom in, go to the weekly. And when we hit the weekly, we're like, oh shit, an inside weekly candle, right? Only, even after all this turbulence. So, if this was a daily chart, and this is a red engulfing candle, what does the Larry Williams, the GOAT of trading's rule say? We play this all the time, guys. If the next daily candle is inside, the third one should go up, right? Red candle, inside candle, bam. Red candle, inside candle, bam. Okay? It works if the market isn't crazy. Can work to the downside too, if it gets really funky. But again, here's the setup. Red candle, inside candle, boom. It almost seems too simple. And if you're not a little bit paranoid trading this market, then maybe you should be, okay? It is always good. We are officially going into not 90% cash, we're gonna be fucking 95% cash. What is the reason? Because you're having these insane intraday moves. So, we got an inside candle. This is not looking too good here right on this trend line, right? You might even start seeing, I'm surprised I haven't seen more posts about the head and shoulders. And we're gonna start with the bearish here. If this is a head and shoulders, you're about to send some dandruff down here. Where to specifically? 330, 630, 40 ish. Okay, that's about the origin of this. I count it from here. Boom, 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 boom. And if that plays out, here's another rule. You trade the same amount that it comes down above the top, which puts us at some point way fucking higher, above 7K. Okay? From here. So if the sports calendar, sorry, let me take that shit off. We got enough shit on here. If the sports calendar is to track, meaning this first sale would have been 20 bucks, that is gonna be 30 and then 40. Okay? Now I don't expect them to play that whole thing out. But if they do, you had this in one day from 67, 64 all the way down to 65, 50, whatever, they even went lower. You saw something incredible last week. Absolutely incredible. Here's the diamond on stilts, right? Now, during the week, we were fucking going down here. This is US 500. You can also look at ES. I look at US 500. Okay? And then Friday, you came up to grab that trend line again. They saved it many times. This was looking real nasty. And on a White House tweet, this was brought up. So if you still think that the market has anything to do with reality, it does not. And the faster you comprehend that, you understand it's a computer game. Okay? A puzzle piece. Now, if we were to blast through this trend line, it shows us that we can maybe for now forget about downside down here. And upon a retest of this trend line after it's blasted through, we can start longing, and chances that we play that Nasdaq chart increases. If that dark pool I showed you is the real thing, we should start dropping pretty fast. That does not mean that you can't play upside also in this market. You know by now that puts are glorified by people who do not actually trade options, in the sense that if you do not nail your fucking put exit to the wall, it's a difference of hundreds of percent. Right? Yes. Great example on Thursday when I was shorting here. I think I got out here with a huge difference from here, same candle, right, to here, like hundreds of percent. Okay, so when we were trading on Friday, here's that cup pullback. I knew a cup pulls back 50% of the cup halfway. But when it's fucking around like this, I was moving my positioning so many freaking times. Why is that? Well, if you're new, look. The VIX prices in the option premiums. The VIX prices in option premiums. So let's say you're trading an uptrend and they're crushing the VIX. Yes, you're getting gains, but not as much as you think you should be getting. Sucking you in to really treacherous moves. We caught nice gains here, but it was this positioning, it was all over the place by like 100% at times. Meaning, it makes a big fucking difference if your entry is 40 or if it's 80 if your contracts are going to, let's say, 2 as an example. Okay, this is a shakeout algo. It is highly unpredictable on purpose, where you can, with a bullshit tweet, move the market let's say we closed, where did we close on Thursday, 10 o'clock my time. We closed here, okay? And we opened again here, right? In the meantime, they fucking sold everything off. Bullshit White House tweet that no one sees or cares about, supposed to believe that that brings up the market. Come on, no, but they did. It was obviously OPEX, and it's very interesting where we closed nevertheless. So, now what? Well, you got this Larry Williams setup. We want to see a really strong Monday, okay? And on Monday, for this next week, we have a irregular pattern to start off with, okay? But it's an early high. Tuesday early low, Wednesday early high, Thursday early high, Friday early low, possible trend change. We will get to that. But here, if you see, where did we cut? We rallied to the trend line, and also this level we have for all of October. Remember? The whites are levels, that's FOMC. Okay, so at this point, if we're up a little, if we can't like rip faces on Monday on some bogus news, I will be taking some downside just in case. There is literally no reason this market can't sell $30. That does not mean you need to be super pre-positioned, because they're almost planning on you doing that, seeing these head and shoulders starting to short. And what happened last time? You had a head and shoulders, you fucking invalidated it hard and ripped big time. Okay? So keep that in mind. I also have this pre-marked for Tuesday and this for Friday. And if these guys are gonna be big triggers, they're based on off a timing model from a long time ago. That would be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? Yes, it fucking would, indeed. Okay? So, we have these crazy intraday moves. We need to be able to go into this week and react. It is jam-packed with shit, and we'll get to that in a second. I just need your head to be in the right spot. Okay? I think these must be pre-GAN dates. I think so. Bam, 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 bam. This is probably down. Where does that? Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Brings it there. Okay. I'm assuming they're GAN spots that have since then moved, but I'm glad we have them there. So this is a little wonky. This is not a low, this is not a high either. If this was a high, we'd be up there. So very, very interesting. I just think overall it's a big shakeout. Now, the big thing that could arise here is this regional bank thing. We already know premiums were very wonky. We knew the 53s were mispriced. Somebody clearly came in to save this shit, and that's what that had to do with, right? Does that look like a healthy chart to you? No. Once shit starts cascading and people are running to the door, that at the same time, that's when the market crashes. When it's and we've been talking about these regional banks for a while, so keep that in mind, okay? Another one is this VIX, right? If this is a back test and they don't crush this VIX here this week, it will explode higher. See what I'm saying? Like, this is a VIX crush back down. If it can't push back down through here, these levels, this whole cluster, this is merely a back test, and you will rip higher on the VIX. And the VIX determines again the price and the range. That's why you're seeing these crazy moves. Like for weeks, if we got a VIX daily that was up here, it was like slam dunk that the market's gonna gap up. Now we're kind of finding our footing here. Okay. So, as far as SPY, if this shit doesn't gap up hard on Monday, or if it does rather, I do want to try some puts from these levels here. I got plenty of alerts to tell me not to be a dumbass, okay? Especially with that Tuesday market. Now, if we go up and we have an early high, and it's a strong day, you'll have a high in the final hour. What is the opposite of that? A fucking complete collapse. Okay? Now, for next week, there is plenty of spice to choose from. One being earnings. And earnings can do all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna be playing Netflix. I have a 462 Ghost on Tesla. I swung both. Okay, I have to be in positions to monitor and feel the premium. I feel the market. I'm not really interested in anything else. This will be extremely potent and interesting to see what it does. Okay, next week. The reason is, obviously, let's scroll back here a little bit. Monday, you ain't got shit. Mondays have been, sorry, wrong Monday. Mondays have been kind of whatever, right? But you're gonna be having this huge news. It's all leading into APEC, Xi and President Trump meeting. Now, last week we went from tweeting fucking Pooh Bears at President Xi to saying, oh, we have a great relationship. And Scott Bessent was sounding pretty fucking nervous, saying that it's the world against China. I don't think so. But that's just me objectively saying, as a shit show trader, that is not at all what's going on here. Sunday night, Chinese data, and plenty of it. Bank of Japan speaker. Okay, so then we're into our Monday. We ain't got shit going on. News cycle, right? Tuesday, Red Book. Who cares at this point? Canadian and Japanese data. Whoop-de-doo. Right? I already showed you earnings. Tuesday, Netflix. I'll be taking a stab at it, okay? If you don't have a giant port, then fucking don't. Be smart. Texas Instruments as well. Wednesday, IBM, Tesla, QS. Okay, and Lam Research. Okay? TSM beat, sold off. Right? So, don't be a dumbass. also next week have to be pointed out. Tuesday. I already showed you that I had that marked. New moon cycle. Okay? Fantastic. Back to the calendar. Then you have Thursday. Existing home sales, you have jobs, who knows? I don't think the government's gonna open up, blah, 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 blah. You also this week have that, when was the 20-year bond auction? That's gonna be interesting. But Friday, after Mr. Antoni was put in at the BLS and then gotten rid of, and the government is closed, you will be getting CPI numbers. Pre-market. Goes without saying, if the market on other news has been shitting the bed, especially $30 at any point during the week, even if you do nothing and you watch until then, if you've gotten a $30 sell into this monstrosity, try playing the extreme to the other side. If the market's been fucking rallying into this or chopping all week, second week in a row, you might want to try puts. And then you have Michigan consumer sentiment, right? The week after that, you are going to be treated to more special activity with another FOMC, and Trump said huge rate cuts are coming. Okay? Then one of my favorite indicators, JPM. This almost looks like it's bottomed out here, right? Could have said the same fucking thing there. Right? So it is pretty spicy out there, and again, we need to react. Now, let's check a little bit on the explicit gamma here, because we trade a lot of gamma levels. Here is Monday. Ain't telling you shit, but again, if you can get up there, I would take some puts. Why? It would be unprecedented to be hanging out at all-time highs with the fucking beaks right here. Just saying, I don't care how much you like it, but like even me, the eternal bull, deep buyer anonymous, welcome on Tuesday, by the way. You know what I mean? Okay, so then let's check out Mr. Tuesday. And I like to look at these. Tells you fucking absolutely nothing, right? Okay, same range. But this can change, obviously. Wednesday. What the fuck is that? That's Wednesday's gamma. That's what they're giving us. Then they're saying, hey, guess what, fuckhead? No Thursday for you. Okay, cool. Friday. 660 is the biggest pull to the downside and 680 to the upside. So that is what we got going on, folks. The dollar, I haven't even like row. Ten-year yield, where you at? Chilling down over here on the trend line. Oil, whatever. 57. This is due to no demand. Okay? I am watching Bitcoin because Bitcoin's been suspiciously going sideways here. Okay? Now, for the longest double inside day, gotta love it. For the longest time, I've said after we broke out of this wedge, it needs to come and back test. This is a level back test, but like it needs to come and back test this trend line at some point. I ain't touching it, but it's fun to trade off of it. Individuals, obviously one of the most important for me is Netflix. And look at that megaphone pattern. If I already have it there. If I can get a gap fill, I will probably into earnings. I will probably grab some top megaphone here, right? Okay, groovy. There's plenty of ghost candles around. Played some Tesla, still in some Tesla because we got that 462 ghost candle right up to there. So why not, you know, give it a go. And both of those names can move wonky away from the market. Now, Meta, there was some Meta news after hours. I was wondering who was loading it on Monday. Again, this is something I played it in the money last time on earnings. I like that it's come down to the same level. I'm probably gonna repeat myself end of October and do the same thing. I don't really trade Nvidia unless I see that there's a awesome setup, because I don't like how the premiums move compared to the risk I have to take and the size I have to take. But if this China news is correct, I think it's propaganda that Jensen said that they have 0% of the Chinese market going forward. There's gonna be immense pressure to get this bullshit trade deal done, and Besant is meeting with He this week in Malaysia or wherever the fuck it was, okay? Lily never showed up at the White House, but me and Brian were able to on Friday to get out for I think 80%. Good shit as far as I'm concerned. TSM had it for earnings, had gangbusters earnings, and sold right at open because my contracts from here to here didn't juice anything at all. AXP was the flush for Friday. I didn't play it. It could have been fun. Not currently trading SMCI. Oracle, not currently trading it. Why? Because I can make a bunch of money on SPY and SPX. Apple, however, again, good call, Timbo. Timbo called that out on Friday. Good shit, man. Very nice. Helped SPY come up. Huge decision here. Last time on the hourly, 200 said if you, now it's kind of being wedged in there, okay? Microsoft, personally, I think is going to be the tool that they reap tech with into end of year. Very interesting from earnings. Has just been dog shit, killing off end of the year premiums. And as you can see with all these charts, upside you can chug along, but you don't want to be in too much swing when they hit you with a fucking $30 down candle that is then reversed with a tweet, right? So we don't know yet. This was sell number 1. We don't know if we get 2 or 3. We're planning ahead on it with the backup plan that the NAS is just going to say, see you later, suckers. But if the regional bank crisis starts, last time we had one, to refresh your memory, good old Carvana here in March of 2023 was trading down here at fucking $5, $3, $8. It is now magically valued at 333. Interesting number there for Justin. Just saying. If this market starts eating shit, and it might, Carvana is one of my favorite shorts. Pretty self-explanatory. And then there is good old Quantum, right? And we know now, thank you, Drac, that, and I double checked it, that the CEO in fact has sold all his shares. So then you gotta ask yourself, you mean to tell me that the CEO that was gobbling shares here under $1 sold all his shit here Yes, he did. Begs the question, is there a mammoth short here? Yeah, it is indeed possible since we have not seen the lower Bollinger Band for quite a while. It's been a pretty fucking awesome fall for this quantum stock. Okay, keep that in mind. So I got starters on it. My favorite trade, once we get closer to this China meeting, is going to be BABA. Okay? So if you have anything regarding BABA as far as ghost candles, please send them to P.O. Box fucking Face of the Moon. Okay? And I will be playing this. And I will be playing this plenty. And I'll be watching premiums, and at some point I'm gonna fucking go for it. Okay, and if we get any $30-$40 sales, I got an alert right there. And there's plenty of gaps, but I wouldn't at all be surprised if this goes to the moon. Okay? And that's what I intend to do. A lot of this week is going to be reacting to SPY and SPX. And if you're new, I trade SPX usually during the morning, during IB session, because premiums are more forgiving and it's just easier for me. And with this volatility, I trade a lot of SPY 1DTE currently because I am not interested in getting smoked, meaning finding myself at a bar with beautiful women that all have Adam's apples, figuratively speaking, by accident. Okay? With that said, guys, we have absolutely nailed it to the wall by calling this trend of change to the day and the fucking price, and we absolutely killed it this week. So it requires extra intense thinking and focus and concentration. If I'm not feeling it this week, at any point in time, I will sit on my fucking hands. And if I'm feeling it, the floorboard of the locomotive better watch out, because I am pressing that pedal through the fucking floor. Okay? And that needs to be what you think. And if you see too many, the bottom's in posts, again, that's the bottom that we also called. This has been hanging out with Hunter Biden over here back in the day since April. Okay? Anything can happen with Trump. Anything can happen with a tweet. You'll see the candle before you see the Truth Social post every single time. So just be on it. If you're not feeling on it, your number one job is to make sure that you are there tomorrow. Don't try to be a hero. Size down. The moves are extreme. Okay? With that said, love you guys. God bless.